This is your call to action. Get prepared, America. Economy, survival, energy, disasters. This is USAPrepares.com. Informative radio, educational radio. Interact now by emailing instructor@USAPrepares.com or text at 434-390-7953. Class, please take your seats. Now, your instructor, Vincent Finelli.
Watch the greenbacks
tumble. Error on the website. I can't believe it. I just went to refresh USAPrepares.com and we've got an error on the website. Boy, this is so much fun. Everyone all set? Cocked? Locked. Here we go. Your dial set correctly to USAPrepares.com. We're broadcasting 2 hours from high atop the Missouri Ozark Mountains. Trevor's engineering the broadcast in Minnesota. And there's a link to your instructors at USAPrepares.com. USAPREPARES.com. Captain John Regan, U.S. Air Force Reserves retired, is with us. Welcome, John Regan.
Happy Sausage Day, Vincent. But it beats me why people make such a big deal out of groundhog.
Yeah, I know. Why is that? Why is that? I got an email, something about that, and they said, you know what President's Day is, or you know what tomorrow is, and the answer is, yeah, it's the day the president comes out. If he sees his shadow, we've got another year of BS. And that guy always sees his shadow. I'll tell you what. Hey, John, let me read something to you. I wrote this on January 29th, posted it on the website. And it says, I wrote this, so this is my opinion, my thoughts. I'm not traveling through Sparta, Missouri. Not patronizing Sparta businesses, and here's why. Bob Eastep was tased with a high-voltage electric stun gun by Sparta, Missouri police officer Andrew Spencer, according to the Sparta, Missouri Police Department staffer I spoke with on the phone today. According to sources, Bob Eastep is currently in the hospital as a result of electric tasing, being pulled out of his truck and being forced face first to the ground, and other injuries he received from Sparta, Missouri police officer Andrew Spencer. I spoke with Sparta's mayor, Mike Junker, on his cell phone, 417-353-9961. And he declined to provide any information as the case is ongoing. Is he hiding something? Sparta's staff informed me that charges may be filed against Bob Eastep, and that until charges are filed, they would not discuss the matter. So here's what we've uncovered. Bob Eastep is in the hospital as a result of what some call is a beating by Sparta, Missouri police officer Andrew Spencer, and that Bob Eastep has a heart condition. Sparta police say that Bob Eastep was drunk and had him tased, tested in Christian County for blood alcohol. None was present. The community is outraged and will not tolerate police abuse. Some believe that the entire Sparta town government should be fired at a minimum. The public trust has been breached. Is this retaliation a result of Bob Eastep speaking out against Agenda 21 and his supporting property rights in Missouri? Many believe that is the case. If so, we the people should bring a citizens' grand jury to assume the responsibility to accuse specific individuals in the Sparta, Missouri government of having committed actionable crimes. If you desire more information, you might want to call Sparta's mayor, Mike Junker, on his cell phone, 417-353-9961. If you have any details of the events described above, please contact us at usaprepares.com. Now, tonight we have a meetup. And one of the things that we're going to talk about at tonight's meetup at Jimmy's Egg is exactly what we should do regarding the Bob Eastep beating. by the Sparta, Missouri police officer Andrew Spencer. Now, one of the things that I'm going to bring up, and I'm going to ask the meetup group, the class. So, hey, listen, everything's cool, you know. At least it wasn't us, right? It was Bob Estep. So we're okay. Is that okay? It's not okay with me. He's one of us. He was beaten. He's part of USAPrepares.com. He's a member of our class. So he was pulled out of his truck and beaten and tased because the cops suspected him of being drunk. Let me tell you what we've heard so far. This is what's been reported to us. So Bob Estep was driving at night in a family truck in the town of Sparta. Cars follow him closely. Bright lights on him. Bob moves his mirror because he's being blinded by the lights behind him. And as he's adjusting his mirror, he can't see where he's going. So he moved a little bit over the yellow line. He gets pulled over with the red and blue lights. Then he's spotlighted. And he's waiting. And he's waiting. Nothing happens. So he calls 911. He says he's uncomfortable. He's uncomfortable with the situation. His door gets opened. He gets tased by the police. The cop says, get out of the truck. And so what does he do? He says, I can't move. I'm paralyzed. He just got tased. Bob Estep is 68. He's a mild guy. I know Bob Estep. I've known him for years. He's come into the radio station where I used to broadcast in Springfield. I know this man. He comes to the meetups. He's a farmer. He's a large landowner. Everybody in the area knows him. He can't move because he's paralyzed because he's been shocked by this cop. So he gets dragged out of his car. And the cop jumps on his back. Now, that's the information that we've been handed. And the cop, Andrew Spencer. Now, what I want to know is, why is Andrew Spencer walking around? Why is he not in jail? Why didn't the police chief arrest Andrew Spencer for abuse and beating up we the people? Why didn't he do that? Why didn't one of the other cops in Sparta, Missouri, arrest Andrew Spencer? Why is the mayor tolerating this? Why has no one provided information about this? This made the news, the television news in Springfield, Missouri, on Friday night. Why is there what appears to be a cover-up about this? Well, we want to know. Now, are we going to protest? Are we going to show up at the mayor's house? What are we going to do? And we're going to talk about that tonight at the meetup. I'm absolutely livid. Absolutely. Now, is Bob Estep the first one who's been abused by the police? No. Aaron Brummett, pastor, street preacher, gets handcuffed 3 times, hauled to jail. He's one. Mike Parsons in prison because he won an election, and he was gonna uncover the dirt in Tennessee. And now it's Bob Estep. A few months before, it was Steve Angle in Hays, Kansas. He answered the door. The cops saw him with a gun in his hand. The cops beat him up and put him in the hospital. This is the kind of thing that's going on. And I keep hearing that they're good cops. Really? You know, I know a cop, and I know his wife, and I asked her about police corruption. This was many years ago. He's no longer on the force. I said, what percentage of the cops are on the take? She said, well, it kind of depends on what you mean. You know, the ones that, go and demand donuts and food from restaurants, if you're talking about down to that level, it's 90%. 90%. 90%. That's what she said. Now, how would she know? I guess she would. She's a cop's wife. John, you didn't even hit my buttons. I did it all by myself. I'm angry. I'm angry because I would have the same reaction if it happened to any one of us here at USA Prepares. Any one of us. Student, instructor, exhibitor, it doesn't matter. These guys are out of control and they need to be fired. And I think a really fine example that we can set across the country is to eliminate the entire Sparta, Missouri government. Throw everybody out. Everybody. No trust. We have no trust in a single individual there. I don't. I'm not going to shop there. I am going to boycott Sparta, Missouri. I won't drive through there. I'd have to be out of my mind to drive through Sparta, Missouri. And I think that's what we need to do. You want to stop fluoride in your community? You go to the restaurant and you say, listen, I'm not going to have any of your beverages. That's the thing they make the most money on. Not until you get the fluoride out of the water. And then pretty soon enough restaurants say to the city manager, hey, listen, revenue's down and it's your fault because the people refuse to be poisoned any longer. You need to say no, class. Okay, John. I'm going to hit my mute button. John Regan's with us. TheFinancialStateOfTheUnion.com. Where do we start, John?
I don't know. I guess maybe we should say that, when people come to the expo, that they can, give you their condolences for me pushing your buttons so often.
Hey, that expo. All right. Since you mentioned the expo, the Get Prepared Expo is our big event for the year, and it's on March 27, 28, and 29. Coming up less than 2 months in Lebanon, Missouri. Lebanon, Missouri. It's the largest survival and preparedness expo in the country, bar none. Okay? There are plenty of claims out there that say that others are the biggest. It's absolutely not true. We are. And why are we? Well, because there are about 200 of us. We have, currently we've got, last night we had 60 seminars scheduled. This morning, it's now 62. By the time we get closer to the expo, we'll have about 80 seminars all scheduled. How to buy a farm, how to build a insulated concrete shelter, build an AR-15, canning, raised bed gardening, water filtration. We'll come back and tell you more.
So you think your basement will save your family? Think again. A separate, certified safe room placed in the basement, properly anchored to the floor, offers the best chance of survival and protection. And the best safe room you can buy is at Missouri Storm Shelters. You saw them at USAPrepares.com Expo. Missouri Storm Shelters has the largest selection of certified storm shelters in the world, tested against winds up to 250 miles per hour. That exceeds the EF5 rating. Missouri Storm Shelters meet or exceed FEMA's 320 and 360 recommended standards, and also NSSA and ICC 500 standards. See Missouri Storm Shelters right here in Nixon, Missouri, or online at MissouriStormShelters.com, or call for pricing and details at 417-725-0055, 417-725-0055. Missouri Storm Shelters, because basements won't save your family.
Hi, John Hubner from Midas Resources. Are you tired of watching your hard-earned assets dwindle away? As government spending is out of hand and the Federal Reserve is creating in excess of $20 billion a week, are you tired of stockbrokers gambling away your hard-earned money? Is this market a setup for a crash greater than 1987? Too many of today's policies resemble those that led to the collapse of 1929. This is John Hubner, and that was me in 2007. And we all know what happened when the subprime credit bubble burst. By March 2009, the dollar lost 50% of its value. The entire U.S. banking system was on the verge of collapsing. Like all financial problems of the past, is history about to repeat itself? Call me, John Hubner, at 1-800-686-2237, extension 129, before it's too late to protect yourself. Will the oncoming catastrophe take all private IRAs, 401ks with it? There is a way to protect your hard-earned assets. Call me, John Hubner, at 1-800-686-2237, extension 129.
You pick a up the receiver. With your heart racing and sweat dripping from your forehead, you finally muster the courage to dial the number to call into your favorite talk radio show. It rings once, twice, and then...
Hello, it's GCN. What's your name and the state you're calling from?
Surprised you got through, you squeak out.
Jason from Minnesota.
Please hold.
As you patiently wait for your turn, you begin to daydream about being a famous talk radio host and what it would be like to have your own show.
Jason from Minnesota, you're up.
Millions of loyal listeners worldwide waiting to call and talk to you.
Caller, are you there?
Cheering crowds surround you, calling out your name.
Jason, Jason,
Going once, twice. Okay, we gotta move on to the next caller.
You blew it.
Huh? Wait, no!
Interact with the hosts you're listening to right now, online at GCNlive.com. Click on the community link. Engage with other listeners. Ask questions. Start debates. Don't agree with a host? Let them know. Be a part of the community at GCNlive.com.
The human body is extraordinary. Despite all the stresses we inflict upon it, it still works hard to stay in balance. Thousands upon thousands of people rely upon Heart and Body Extract to help their body stay balanced. This excellent 100% natural herbal formula helps maintain healthy blood pressure levels, cleans arteries, promotes good circulation, balances cholesterol, and more. HB Extract, paired with healthy lifestyle choices like good nutrition and exercise, can give you a life free of pain, sickness, and fear. Recapture your youthful vitality and experience your body healing itself with the aid of HB Extract. It's extremely effective and it starts working in just days. Visit hbextract.com to learn more and to read scores of testimonials from satisfied customers. And we've never increased our price in over 10 years. That makes Heart and Body Extract as great a value now as it was the first day we sold it. A healthy heart is a happy heart. Call 866-295-5305 or go to hbextract.com.
Captain John Regan's with us, and John, just to give a little bit more information about the Get Prepared Expo. That's in March 27, 28, and 29. Information is on the website, usaprepares.com. You can click on the shop tab and buy your tickets. How much are tickets? Well, they're $8 a day if you buy them online, and 2 days for $15. And if you want to have banquet dinner with your instructors and your favorite exhibitors, well, that's $10.80 per meal. That's about what it would, it's less than what it would cost you at a restaurant for an average meal, and you'll have a chance to dine with instructors and exhibitors. So, let me just give you just a thumbnail of some of the seminars. Well, Dr. Shealy is going to be there, Dr. Norman Shealy. He's a brain surgeon, surgeon of the year, neurosurgeon. And he's going to teach you how to lower your blood pressure. He's going to do it right there. He's going to take your blood pressure and show you how you can lower it immediately. Dr. Rick Miller, he's going to teach you how to think like a Navy SEAL. And Judy Dollarhite's going to talk about water filtration, what you need to know. Harry Cooper, he's going to talk about, big lies, really big lies, like Hitler committed suicide and so did his wife. He's going to teach you that they both escaped to Argentina. He's an author. And if you'd like to buy his book, you'll be able to get books from the authors and have them signed, like, Dr. Richard Allen Miller, Norm Shealy, Matt Stein. John Moore's going to be there, and he's going to talk about violent climate change and what to do about it. Captain John Regan's going to be there with his book, The Financial State of the Union. You can buy his book and get it signed. John, what are you going to teach us in your seminar?
Well, there's quite a bit that has happened since the first edition came out. And I'm also working, I've got some new software. I think I'm going to be able to get the Unprepared Prepper out before the expo, too.
Awesome. So John will have seminars, plural, and you'll have a chance to see Captain John Regan in person. And imagine having dinner with John Regan. Seriously. You'll be able to do that Friday night. You'll be able to do that Saturday night. And if you want to have lunch with him on Sunday, you'll be able to do that too. And here's what we're doing. The instructors will be at a table. Like, for example, John Regan will have a table. And if you'd like to eat with John Regan, you may. And if you'd like to eat with Norm Shealy, you may. And Rick Miller, you may. And Matt Stein, you may. I don't think you can eat with me, though. Well, because, I'd like to. I think it'd be great to have a dinner, but I'm going to be the MC, so I don't think I'm going to actually have a chance to sit down. But you will have a chance to dine with the faculty and the exhibitors, and it'll be an absolute blast. And I've made this guarantee, John, and tell me if you think that this is over the top. I think it's reasonable. I've said to people that I guarantee that the Get Prepared Expo will be one of their life's 10 most memorable events. And the reason I say that is who they will meet, who the guests will meet when they come to the expo. Do you think that is over the top, or do you think that's reasonable?
It's actually more than reasonable. When you look at the cost of the expo ticket, just one of those seminars is more than worth the price of admission.
Yeah. But I think it's so cool. It's like a family reunion to me. It's like maybe it's like a high school reunion, a family reunion where, we all get together and it is the most fun thing as well as really entertaining. Now, a lot of us who are instructors take for granted, the information because we eat, sleep, and drink this. But there are many who don't, and they need to learn this from us, and we're all there in one place, which is really neat. So imagine meeting all of your favorite radio personalities in one place. That's what it's like. And that, for Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Now, on Friday, Dr. Richard Allen Miller and Matt Stein are going to get together for another seminar. And it's a small attendance seminar. We can only hold about 200 people at absolute most, more like 100. And there's a cost and way above the cost of the regular expo. That's $85. And they're going to teach you about game over events. Game over, real serious events, and what to do about it to survive. The cost is $85 for that. The other seminars are bundled in at $8 for a day. So Friday's special at $85. Saturday and Sunday are $8 a piece. We'll be right back.
Yeah?
Did you want to see me, sir?
Well, I did, but now that I do, I'm not so sure.
Sir?
Johnson, I got a mission for you that could change your life.
Oh, good, sir.
It involves traveling halfway around the world without so much as half a clue of where you're going or what you're going to do when you get there.
Situation normal, sir?
Uh-huh. But I'll be leading this mission, Johnson, so I'll be telling you what to do.
You, sir?
That's right, Johnson, and I say first things first.
Oh, good plan, sir.
And what I say is first is food. Always remember that, Johnson. Food is a big deal.
Sir, my brother-in-law can give us a really good deal on some surplus MREs.
Johnson, if you've got half a brain and that empty head of yours, you'll call the freeze-dry guy like I did. That food is better for you, it rehydrates faster, and it's good, Johnson, and it keeps for up to 30 years.
Will we be gone that long, sir?
I hope not. Now get your supplies organized and meet me down to the pier at dawn on Sunday. We sail at sunrise.
Yes, sir.
This adventure is brought to you by the Freeze Dry Guy. Call 866-404-3663 or visit freezedryguy.com.
Hey, guess what? They've got some great deals for Valentine's Day at guns80.com. They're calling it the Sweetheart Special. Guns80.com has lowered the price way down to $400 up until Valentine's Day. Order your Ghost AR-15 now. Tell your sweetheart that this is the right gift at the right time. Buy one for yourself. Buy one for your sweetheart, too. Your sweetheart will thank you for being so tuned into his or her needs. Get a brand new Ghost AR-15 right now for $400. Heck, buy two. His and hers. Go to guns80.com or call and ask for the Sweetheart Deal. Love is in the air at guns80.com. Call now, 844-2GUNS80. That's 844-248-6780. It's a sweetheart of a deal. Actually, it's a steal at $400, so call guns80.com at 844-2GUNS80. But hurry, supplies are limited. Call 844-2GUNS80 or get your Ghost AR-15 today at guns80.com on the web.
I'm Vincent Finelli of USAPrepares.com. As most of you know, I broadcast weekday mornings on GCN from 9 to 11. And I'm also a full-time farmer. Add to that mix the weekly meetups and the Get Prepared Expo, and this combination makes for a demanding schedule. On the farm, we raise grass-fed Black Angus cattle. and provide them with the best variety of summer and fall grasses available. Our cattle are exposed to the extremes of weather, the toxins in the air, and the electromagnetic radiation that's all around us. So even the best grasses and food that we provide are not enough. Our cattle require minerals and supplements for strong health and resistance to disease. And so do we. For these reasons, my mother, our children, Mrs. Finelli, and I all take longevity beyond Tangy Tangerine, De-Stress, Glucogel, and EFA Plus. USAPreparesTeam.com. And thank you for being in class today.
We live in a complicated society. Stressful issues are always popping up. Have you ever been treated unfairly by someone? Have you ever been overcharged for a repair? Have you ever signed a contract or a document worried about identity theft? How many times have you been in those unique situations where you just wanted to call an attorney to find out if you're right or wrong, or what your legal rights are? But every time you think about calling an attorney, what do you think about first? That's right. Who do you call? And how much will it cost? Our friends at Legal Shield have found a solution. With a nationwide network of 6,900 attorneys who average 19 years of experience, Legal Shield's law firms take over 40,000 calls per week helping their members. For less than $20 per month, you can have access to Legal Shield on everything from the trivial to the traumatic. Let Legal Shield stand up for your rights at lsprotection.com. That's lsprotection.com. Or call 855-340-SAVE, 855-340-7283.
Results will vary from case to case.
This alert just came in. This special announcement is for business owners and leaders of organizations who've been waiting for the right time to build. General Steel has made it impossible to wait any longer with rock-bottom prices that could save you thousands. That's right, General Steel, America's leader in pre-engineered structures, is offering buildings at prices you will never see again. Don't miss these prices. A 50 by 100 for $35,000. You heard right. That's 5,000 square feet for $35,000. Manufacturers, if you need a larger building, try a 100 by 100 commercial building for $129,000. You can't afford to rent with these prices. Imagine a 70 by 100-foot church building for under $69,000. With the economy improving and interest rates still at historic lows, you can't afford to wait. So call 866-91-STEEL. Lock in your price now. Call 866-91-STEEL. That's 866-917-8335.
Meet up tonight, Jimmy's Egg, and we're going to be talking about Bobby Step, and we're going to be talking about fluoride. Got a movie tonight. Actually, I have a couple movies. One is about fluoride, and it's guaranteed to change your life. We're also going to, I also do my monologue with my take on the news. So that's tonight. Meet up at Jimmy's Egg, 4:45 to 8 o'clock. And in Springfield, Missouri, information's on the website. One last thing. At the expo, the Get Prepared Expo, we will have the absolute lowest prices on Berkey water filters. Why? How do I know that? Because we buy them. USAPrepares.com buys them by the pallet for the expo, and then we sell them at the absolute lowest prices, by far, at the Get Prepared Expo. So you'll be able to buy them and take them with you. Filters, fluoride filters, and the stainless steel Berkey water filters and bottles. And we're going to have the absolute lowest price on Mountain House number 10 cans of long-term storage food. Absolute lowest price in the country. No question about it. We've arranged it with Mountain House and the Prepper Stop, Craig Douglas. So, no question, you'll be able to get Berkey water filters and Mountain House food at the absolute lowest price in the country. John Regan, back to you.
I thought today we'd start off with financial. And the first item isn't even a link. It's a personal observation at the grocery store. I ended up going down the seasonal aisle, which is where they have the Valentine candy. And I was looking, and I noticed they already have these boxes of, the heart-shaped boxes of Valentine candy marked down about 10 or 15% off of the list price. And it's not even Valentine's Day yet.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't recall that ever happening.
No. And there's another thing that you might want to notice, class, about packaging for candy. If you look at chocolate, you'll find that Some chocolates have a raised bottom inside the box, so you feel the box and go, wow, this is a huge box. Well, it is a big box. But is there a lot of chocolate in it? And the answer is probably a lot less than you think. And then they have these trays to separate the candies, and the trays take about 50% of the volume. So you're getting 50% air and maybe 50% chocolate. So there are a lot of things that are happening, John. So that would be inflation. And then you're talking about people aren't buying, right? Is that what you're saying? I think that's what you're saying.
Right. Plus, I've also seen coupons for Valentine's candy and for flowers.
Yep. And guns80.com, guns80.com, I just got off the phone with them during the break. They've got a Valentine's Day sale on the AR-15, $400. I've got one. I got mine. And I haven't built it yet, but I've got it. So you might want to consider that. But you're right, John. You're right. I don't see the volume of purchases that I used to see. And in the grocery store or the supermarket, and even Aldi, when I go there maybe once a month, and I will load up, Mrs. Finelli, I will have 2 carts. And we'll look like Vinnie Antonelli from My Blue Heaven trying to push these carts down the aisle. I mean, it's, they weigh so much because we don't go shopping very often. But compared to everybody else, they have very few items in their carts. And they're agonizing over whether they're going to buy them. And they're buying them at Aldi, which is the lowest price food store I've seen. I mean, great quality at the lowest prices, lower than Walmart. As a matter of fact, Aldi's the store that Walmart is most concerned about because they can't compete with Aldi. Aldi blows their doors off.
Well, first up today, I've got disability disabled.
Yeah.
And this article, the Disability Trust Fund will run out of money by the end of 2016. This is the shakiest part of the Social Security, and it's no longer years in the future that we're seeing parts run out of money. This is right around the corner. Mm-hmm. And one of the things I point out in the Financial State of the Union, there's no money in the trust funds anyway. The government took that money, spent it, and put these special treasury securities that only the government can redeem. So in order to get money to pay benefits, it first has to convert that debt to debt owned by the public, which is how they get to lie about saying that the debt is not greater than GDP.
John, if you add to this that the Disability Trust Fund will run out of money by the end of 2016, if you add to that the fact that the veterans are, we have a lot of disabled veterans, and they're not getting the care that they should get. And it seems like the plan is to kill them off slowly so that we can't attribute to the death of these veterans, the deaths of the veterans to any particular cause, so that they won't, we'll call it, use the funds of the disability funds. Does that make sense?
It's, I think, all part of the plan. They're making health care either so expensive that you can't afford it, or wait so long to get it that you die first.
Right. That's exactly right. A man came up to the farmhouse, John, and he said, "I want you to keep these." I said, "What are they?" He said, "These are my health records." So I got them off the farm into a secure location. They're his health records, and he is a veteran, and he wants me to know what happened to him and the care that he did not get, so that if his life is snuffed out, he wants a record of it that I can expose or others can expose as to what happened. He needed help, and they said, "Okay, we'll test you." Well, we have to schedule that test. Well, actually, we can't schedule it right now. We'll have to schedule it later. Actually, there's something we ought to do, but let's take a look at something else before we schedule a test. I mean, they just dragged this out for years before they'd help this guy. And it appears to me that they wanted to kill him. They wanted to kill him by doing nothing. It's outrageous. And he's a veteran. And he's bright. What's next?
Next up, going with the flow. And this has a chart from Goldman Sachs, their forecast of United States net equity flows in billions of dollars. And it breaks it down by category. And it's kind of surprising, the largest inflows coming from corporations. What's happening is they're buying their stock back, which is what's helping to boost the earnings per share. So you get to say, hey, everything is awesome out there in the economy because corporate earnings are up. But when you start looking down the rest of this chart, you get down to pension funds and households. And this chart only goes back to 2012. But for that entire time frame, the flow for pension funds and households, it's negative. So people are selling their equities to get money, and pension funds are now in the position that they're having to sell off to get money because more people are retiring. And the combination of that is starting to approach $500 million a year coming out of the equity market. I thought that was rather shocking. How about you?
Yeah, I do. And, you know, I talked with Bob Chapman many years ago about stock manipulation. And I said, Bob Chapman, when I was a financial analyst for a Fortune 100 company back in the 70s, I'd get a call during my lunch hour from a broker, and at Merrill Lynch, Pierce, Fenner and Smith. And he'd say, hey, Vinny, we got a hot deal. Houston Oil. Houston Oil's really going to take off. And I'd say, well, I don't know anything about Houston Oil. And he'd say, well, it's going to go big. And I'd say, well, I'm not doing anything until I research it. And back then you couldn't get on the internet and do quick research. You had to get the Wall Street Journal, New York Times, or you had to go to the library to do some research. Well, sure enough, the next day, the Wall Street Journal would report that the price went up. And the day after that, the price would collapse. Now, why is that? Well, I believe that, and I mentioned that to Bob Chapman. Did they get a call in a boiler room at the brokerage office and say, okay, guys, here's what we're going to do. Today, we're going to push Houston Oil. We're going to push Houston Oil and go sell, because we already bought ours. We bought ours, drive the price up, we'll sell it at the high, and then it'll fall. But we'll get out before it falls. And I said, Bob Chapman, is that what they do? He said, yes. And they've been doing it for years. So I said, it sounds like what they do is they've got a PA system that goes to all the brokerage offices. And they say, okay, guys, here's the announcement for today. All points bulletin to all the brokerage, the small brokerage offices throughout the country. Houston Oil, push Houston Oil. And it goes up. It absolutely does. And then it goes down. So if you get in early and you get out early, you can take that ride. But I asked him if it's true, and he said, yeah. So, John, what you're saying is it manipulated? Yeah. It is. Back to you.
And where that gas savings is going, we just got the Q4 GDP, and the growth that we got in there came mostly from healthcare. And when you look at the chart, healthcare is number one, housing and utilities is number two. And the healthcare increase is so large that it's like a third more than what housing and utilities are.
Yeah, it is. Class, if you want to follow along with us, go to thefinancialstateoftheunion.com, thefinancialstateoftheunion.com, and click on the news tab. And there are the links, and you can follow along with John Regan and me. This is USAPrepares.com, and we're talking about healthcare. Personal consumption spending way up. Why is that? Where'd the money come from?
So you think your basement will save your family? Think again. A separate, certified safe room placed in the basement, properly anchored to the floor, offers the best chance of survival and protection. And the best safe room you can buy is at Missouri Storm Shelters. You saw them at USAPrepares.com Expo. Missouri Storm Shelters has the largest selection of certified storm shelters in the world, tested against winds up to 250 miles per hour. That exceeds the EF5 rating. Missouri Storm Shelters meet or exceed FEMA's 320 and 360 recommended standards, and also NSSA and ICC 500 standards. See Missouri Storm Shelters right here in Nixa, Missouri, or online at MissouriStormShelters.com, or call for pricing and details at 417-725-0055, 417-725-0055. Missouri Storm Shelters, because basements won't save your family.
Hunters, anglers, campers, and survivalists. Get back to nature. Expand your horizons with the highest quality, most versatile, unique slingshots and sling bows on the market at slingbow.com. Sling bow products are compact and models start from just $17.98. They're perfect for your bug out bag or storing in your vehicle. Give yourself and your loved ones the excitement and tradition of sling bow. A new frontier in archery and truly modern twist on this primitive survival tool. Feel the thrill only at slingbow.com.
How many good people procrastinate? When was the last time you updated your last will and testament, your living will, and your healthcare power of attorney? If you could get these documents included with your Legal Shield membership for no additional charge, wouldn't it just make sense to have the peace of mind of owning a Legal Shield membership? Worry less and live more with lsprotection.com. That's lsprotection.com, or call 855-340-SAVE. That's 855-340-7283.
Results will vary from case to case.
Don't complain about your cable bill going up and up and up. Do something about it. Grab a pencil and jot down this special number, 1-855-905-MY-TV. The more cable TV rates go up, the better digital satellite TV looks. Say goodbye to the cable guy and get more of your favorite channels in 100% digital quality for less money. Call 1-855-905-MY-TV. Sign up for packages starting as low as $19.99, and there's no equipment to buy. You get free HD TV upgrade, a free DVR upgrade, and free professional installation. You control what you watch when you watch it. Record your favorite shows. Pause and rewind live TV. Even skip the commercials. Watch local channels too. At just $19.99, what are you waiting for? Pull out your major credit or debit card. Call 1-855-905-MY-TV. 1-855-905-MY-TV. Say goodbye to the cable guy. Cut costs and get more. 1-855-905-MY-TV. 1-855-905-MY-TV.
For over 5 years, you've been hearing about the Berkey guy, so you may know a few things about him. For example, you are well aware of the superior quality and effectiveness of Berkey water filters and accessories. But did you know the Berkeys have had independent lab tests done to prove just how effective they are? It's true, and he can email you the test results. Just visit GoBerkey.com. You may also know that the Berkey guy has helped tens of thousands of people get better prepared. Now here's something you may not know. GoBerkey.com has amazing specials and deals all the time on a wide variety of survival and preparedness products. Most ready to ship same day. Visit the Berkey Guy at GoBerkey.com and be sure to click the red Products on Sale Now button. You can always call toll-free 877-886-3653. Again, that's 877-886-3653. GoBerkey.com, home of the Berkey Guy.
On Facebook, on the news, and in conversations with friends, we're bombarded every day with advice on how to be healthier, from gluten-free and non-GMO diets to how much exercise and sleep the body needs. But how much have you heard about alkalizing the body? AlkaVision Plasma pH drops are a holistic and natural way to get your body's pH levels back in balance. Just a few drops in water will help your body rid itself of harmful waste. And even the healthiest of diets can be complemented with your daily use of AlkaVision Plasma pH drops. Who Who isn't looking for more vibrance, vigor, and energy? Now buy 2 bottles of AlkaVision Plasma pH drops and get $10 off your order. Visit alkavision.com or call 800-518-7615. AlkaVision Plasma pH drops are packed with a powerful combination of the most alkaline minerals and compounds. Open the door to greater health, vitality, and zest for life. Alkalize your body. Supercharge your health. Call 800-518-7615 or head to alkavision.com.
Class Captain John Regan's with us, U.S. Air Force Reserves, retired. And we're talking about, well, where's the money going? We're talking about personal consumption spending. John Regan, healthcare is way up. It's gone up a third more than housing and utilities. It's gone up more than everything else. Where'd the money come from that the healthcare expenditures went up so much on?
Well, that's what's squeezing a lot of people, is because they have to, buy Obamacare or pay a penalty. And it doesn't necessarily mean they get care. It means you're forced to have coverage.
You're absolutely right. And I know people who have tried to get appointments to see their doctors, and they're booked. If you want to go see a doctor in Springfield, you're probably going to wait about, weeks to go see a doctor. It's amazing. Before the insurance companies got involved, before the government got involved, we used to be able to call a doctor. Heck, they used to make house calls. I'm talking the 1950s and the 1960s. Doctors would have a black bag and they'd come to your house. Can you imagine that now? As a matter of fact, John, do you remember seeing license plates on cars that would say MD on them, as in medical doctor? I don't see them anymore, do you?
No, I don't.
So when you're looking at this graph, it looks like food and beverages took a minus. It looks like food and beverages have gone backward, where healthcare has gone way up. It looks like all you have to do to get people to spend money where you want them to spend money is to just make an administrative rule or a law and say, you will do this. A regulation. You will do this. And people are spending money on healthcare. And I don't think they're getting anything for it. Actually, I think they're getting less for it, and they're spending more for it. Am I the only one that thinks that, John?
No, and that's the way it was designed.
It seems to me that if you have one system, you can say to people, I'll tell you what, we have to give you this injection. It's for your own good. We're going to give you this injection, and you have to take this injection. Because if you don't, well, there are consequences, and they're horrible. And it's like jail time and, fines. And I can just see it coming. I really can. And you look at this guy on TV, and he smiles, and he goes play golf. He plays golf, and he goes on vacations, and the country's burning. It's disgraceful. It's despicable. And, John, we were talking about the price of things going up, and I've mentioned the cost of parts, replacement parts, costing a lot more. And there it is, right in this chart. Motor vehicles and parts are up in cost. Footwear. I was at Sam's Club. I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe how much a pair of boots costs. A pair of leather boots that we used to be able to buy for $19.99 in Sears back in the 70s. They're like $170 for a pair of just plain boots. I went to get, I think I told you this, I went to get, I have a pair of Red Wing boots that I wear here at the farm. I get mud all over them, and, it's what I do here on the farm. Drive the tractor, and I wear these boots to protect my feet. Otherwise, I'd wear sneakers, right? Well, just to have them resold is $75 to $85. To get them resold. Let's forget the top part of the boots. That's just the part you walk on. It's nuts. Hey, John, when we come back, where are we going? What are we going to learn?
Let's go ahead and finish off the financial section. Baltic Dry Index next.
So we're going to go look at the Baltic Index, and we're going to be at the financial section. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more items. 6 items in the financial section. Captain John Regan's with us. We're in the financial section of the financialstateoftheunion.com in the news tab. And you might want to go there and click on it and follow along. We'll be right back.
Worried about getting sick and feeling terrible for days or even weeks? You need Immudyne for a healthy immune system. Why get sick and bother with products that just don't work? For just $1 a day, Immudyne is all natural and safe for all lifestyles. Call 866-257-8668 to buy now before it's too late, before you get sick. Or go to IMMUDYNE.com, Immudyne.com, or call 866-257-8668.
You ever hear about Ghost 80% AR-15 rifle kits? At Guns80.com, they are the 80% specialists, helping to protect our privacy. Look, there are forces out there right now trying to register guns for future confiscation. UN treaties threatening our Second Amendment, our freedom. You need a Ghost AR-15. Get it at Guns80.com. Call 844-2-GUNS-80. That's 844-248-6780. Own an AR-15 today and keep it a secret. Go to Guns80.com. That's Guns80.com. 844-2-GUNS-80.
Are you always 5 minutes late? Maybe you're only late when you don't want to be somewhere. Then you realize you're always 5 minutes late. For work, you set 3 alarms, drag your feet in the shower, drink your coffee slowly until you're rushing out the door. 5 minutes late. It's not that you hate your job. Hate is such a strong word. You're just not that excited about it. But most people don't love what they do, right? Listen, if you're local to the Twin Cities, are hardworking, self-driven, with experience in sales, marketing, or advertising, are personable, and a whiz on the phone, you might want to join one of the largest independent talk radio networks in the world, GCN. Because right now, we are hiring, and we offer benefits. Experience preferred, but we'll train the right person. Is that you? Submit your resume today to advertise at GCNlive.com. That's advertise at GCNlive.com. Come work with the Genesis Communications Network, where you'll want to be 5 minutes early every day.
There's a better place to get your podcast. GCNlive.com. Hundreds of thousands of hours archived for your listening pleasure. All free at GCNlive.com.
Everyone all set? Cocked, locked. Here we go. Hour number 2 of USA Prepares with Captain John Regan, U.S. Air Force Reserves, retired. And John was telling us that we're going to start with the Baltic Dry Index.
And if I sound different, about a minute into the break, my Skype went down. It will not reconnect. So I'm on my plan B right now.
I'm so glad you have a plan B, John. Yeah. So,
not that anything ever goes wrong in live radio.
Well, hey, John, when you do your seminar at the expo, if you have a couple minutes, you've got a couple of seminars, but if you need more time, we'll see if we can make that happen. I think it'd be funny if you told some of the stories, or at least one of the stories about live radio when you sat in my seat and filled in for me for 3 days. I think that might be a great personal story for those who come visit you. But the Baltic Dry Index, please tell us about that.
Okay, we've talked about the Baltic Dry Index before. It's the rate that shippers charge for shipping raw materials on these big ships. It's not a traded index, and it's only updated once a day. Well, this first link that I've called Baltic Down Index shows a 30-year chart for the Baltic Dry Index. The source I use is only giving me a 5-year period, so I'm seeing further back than I've seen on the index. And we already talked about it's already at the lowest point that it's ever been this time of the year. And here, this article is from the 29th. It is now the lowest that it has been since August of 1986. And then the next link is the link to Bloomberg for the Baltic Dry Index. The most recent quote is from Friday, and it's now fallen all the way down to 608. So that's saying that there's really, really slack demand for shipping raw materials. And if you don't have raw materials going into the process, that means people aren't manufacturing to create the goods coming out at the end of the process. So this is not a good looking indicator for saying that things are going to recover anytime soon.
John, as I'm looking at the chart at the financialstateoftheunion.com news tab. As I'm looking at the chart, the Baltic Dry Index, it tells me exactly what you said, that raw materials being shipped are not going into the manufacturing process. Now, one of the concerns that I had, and here's what I'm doing personally, and one of the things that we talk about at USA Prepares is, here's the problem, but what do we do about it? Well, I'm really concerned about spare parts. I really am concerned about spare parts, because if we don't have spare parts to fix those items that need to be repaired on our machinery to operate our businesses, we will be out of business. And in my case, it's farming. So there's certain things that I absolutely have to have. And I'm finding that it's getting a little more difficult to get some of the parts that I need to get, and they're getting more expensive. And I have a feeling that the supply is going to vanish. Is that what you're seeing also, or is it? Am I analyzing this properly through your mind, John? That I need to make sure I have the spare parts because they may not be available because manufacturing seems to be disappearing?
There's the problem of not being available, and of course, when there's a tighter supply and still demand for it, that's when you see the prices go up. Mm-hmm. The problem we're seeing right now is that people are so strapped for things like, food and housing and having to pay for required insurances that they can't afford other things, which is trying to cause a deflationary spiral in these other areas.
Just as an off comment about this, many years ago, about 10 years ago, I bought a couple cases of Fram oil filters for a Dodge Cummins turbo diesel truck that we have here at the farm. We still have the truck. So I bought a couple cases of them. I'm down to the last 2 oil filters. We change the oil filters every 5,000 miles. So I just bought another case. And I'm telling you that they have, the older ones are better than the new ones. The older ones have larger ports to flow more oil than the new ones. It's like, it reminds me of the day that you came to the meetup and you had 2 toilet paper cardboard tubes in your fingers, one in your thumb, one in your forefinger, and you're comparing them. You're saying, look at the difference. The width of toilet paper has gotten narrower. Okay, so same 1,000 sheets, but the sheets are not as wide as they used to be. So as I look at the oil filters, I'm seeing this, and I don't like it. So I'm trying to get the parts that we need while we can still get them. And it looks to me like they're getting harder to get. And I'm really concerned about this. So it was the Baltic Dry Index plunged 5% in this chart to 632. And did you say it was 608 or close to that?
It was 608 on Friday. I have not seen what it is today.
That's a huge drop. Huge drop for one day. Okay. Is there anything else that we can learn from this, John?
Well, there's so many other things. I want to move on. You talked about the toilet paper, which is the next thing up. I call it Charmin squeezes itself. Mm-hmm. And that's the play on, if you remember the old commercials when they had Mr. Whipple, please don't squeeze the Charmin.
Yes.
Well, they now say that they've cut down the size, both the length and the width, so that you've got a 25% decrease in your toilet paper surface area over what it used to be. And I have to remind you, when you have a 20% decrease of something, that means you have to add a third to it to get back to where you were.
Unbelievable. And you know, and when what a marketing scheme they had when they said, you know, squeezably soft, you can squeeze it. That's because there's a lot of air in there. Now, you know, if you take the single ply sheets of toilet paper and you squeeze those rolls, they don't squeeze as much because they don't have as much air in them. And people, I believe, have been conned, my term, duped into thinking that squeezably soft is a good thing. You get less. John Regan, we've got Matthew from Ohio on with us. Matthew, welcome. You're on with John Regan and me, Vin Finelli.
Hi, thanks for taking my call. This vaccine issue really pushes my button, and I think Obamacare is used as the largest control scheme to take away people's guns and liberties and freedoms, and I think taking a vaccine to prevent disease is like shooting yourself with a gun to prevent lead poisoning.
Really good point. What do you think, John? I think he's spot on.
Absolutely, and that was one of the things that one of the articles I had to cut out is the new Surgeon General that Obama appointed is one of these people that is a gun control advocate, and that's why when you go in, they're going to instead of ask about how you're doing, it's do you have any guns? And if you have any kind of signs of depression or any other mental condition that they can describe vaguely, you know, they have to take your guns for your own safety.
Matthew, one other, yeah.
Matthew, I know a woman who the police showed up at her house. Two cops showed up at her house because some other woman called the cops and said, you know, I think this woman might be in trouble. So the cops show up at her house and they barge in. They see a handgun on her table next to her couch in her family room. It's loaded. By the way, I think that's the way you should keep a gun, you know, as long as there aren't children around who can discharge it accidentally.
Yep.
And so the cops handcuffed this woman, put her in for a psychiatric evaluation, steal her gun, and gave her a really hard time about returning it. 72-hour psychological evaluation. The plan, as far as I can tell, was to take this woman's gun, keep it, and prevent her from ever having a lawful ownership of a firearm ever again. And I got involved, and I exposed these guys, and they backed down.
Wow.
And they really didn't want to give her gun back. So I went, and I said, she sold it to me. It's my gun, and I'm not leaving until you give it back to me.
That's great.
And I ultimately got it back. But it was tough. It took multiple trips to the police station. It really did. And then, and when I was waiting in the lobby, I saw all these heroes, all these cops, you know, and they had like sniper award. Really? Is that what we need to be teaching these cops? We need to be teaching them how to hide and kill people from afar? Is that what we really need to do? Hey, Matthew, this is your first call, and you already hit my button.
I'm sorry. Thank you very much.
Did you have something else, Matthew?
Yeah, I think we need to abolish the federal government.
Hey. Well, I'm not gonna argue. I think they're out of control. I think they're too big. And I appreciate your call, Matthew. Thanks very much.
Thanks.
Yeah?
Did you want to see me, sir?
Well, I did, but now that I do, I'm not so sure.
Sir?
Johnson, I got a mission for you that could change your life.
Oh, good, sir.
It involves traveling halfway around the world without so much as half a clue of where you're going or what you're going to do when you get there.
Situation normal, sir?
Uh-huh. But I'll be leading this mission, Johnson, so I'll be telling you what to do.
You, sir?
That's right, Johnson, and I say first things first.
Oh, good plan, sir.
And what I say is first is food. Always remember that, Johnson. Food is a big deal.
Sir, my brother-in-law can give us a really good deal on some surplus MREs.
Johnson, if you've got half a brain and that empty head of yours, you'll call the freeze-dried guy like I did. That food is better for you, it rehydrates faster, and it's good, Johnson, and it keeps for up to 30 years.
Will we be gone that long, sir?
I hope not. Now get your supplies organized and meet me down to the pier at dawn on Sunday. We sail at sunrise.
Yes, sir.
This adventure is brought to you by the Freeze Dry Guy. Call 866-404-3663 or visit freezedryguy.com. Gold. It's like nothing else on Earth. From the Romans through the Renaissance, from the Industrial Age to the Space Age, gold has weathered the test of time. For 6,000 years, gold has remained the ultimate store of wealth. According to the World Gold Council and the U.S. Mint, demand is at an all-time high. The stage is being set for the reemergence of gold as the common-sense alternative to a fiat paper currency that gets weaker every day. Midas Resources is proud to offer the hard-hitting report that arms you with the truth you need to protect you and your family from the Fed's plans for your hard-earned money. Don't gamble with your future. Call Midas Resources today and ask for your free copy of As Good as Gold. Call 1-800-686-2237 for the report the Fed hopes you'll never see. As Good as Gold can be yours by calling 800-686-2237. If you have ever thought about owning gold, you must read this report. Call Midas today at 800-686-2237.
You ever hear about Ghost 80% AR-15 rifle kits? At Guns80.com, they are the 80% specialists, helping to protect our privacy. Look, there are forces out there right now trying to register guns for future confiscation. UN treaties threatening our Second Amendment, our freedom. You need a Ghost AR-15. Get it at Guns80.com. Call 844-2GUNS80. That's 844-248-6780. Own an AR-15 today and keep it a secret. Go to Guns80.com. That's Guns80.com. 844-2GUNS80.
This is Dan Pilla. Do you owe the IRS money you can't pay? Are tax debts crippling you? I've defended people from the IRS for over 30 years. I've helped thousands, and I can help you too. I wrote the book on IRS settlement, and I'm telling you, there's no such thing as a hopeless case. Call 800-34-NO-TAX to finally get free of IRS debt. With the IRS's new programs, there's never been a better time to solve your problem. Call 800-34-NO-TAX. That's 800-34-NO-TAX, or my website, danpilla.com.
This alert just came in. This special announcement is for business owners and leaders of organizations who've been waiting for the right time to build. General Steel has made it impossible to wait any longer with rock-bottom prices that could save you thousands. That's right, General Steel, America's leader in pre-engineered structures, is offering buildings at prices you will never see again. Don't miss these prices. A 50 by 100 for $35,000. You heard right. That's 5,000 square feet for $35,000. Manufacturers, if you need a larger building, try a 100 by 100 commercial building for $129,000. You can't afford to rent with these prices. Imagine a 70 by 100 foot church building for under $69,000. With the economy improving and interest rates still at historic lows, you can't afford to wait. So call 866-91-STEEL. Lock in your price now. Call 866-91-STEEL. That's 866-917-8335.
Hey, class. A little bit off topic, but I'm not sure what's going on. I just got off the phone with Ron Gibson. Ron Gibson is a gentleman on the East Coast who downloads USAPrepares.com, Michael Rivero, What Really Happened, and Alex Jones broadcast. And he posts them on YouTube every day. He has about 30,000 subscribers. 30,000 subscribers to his YouTube channel. And he's now blocked from uploading more than 15 minutes at a time. He's been shut down. And I asked him, I just got off the phone, I asked him, what happened? He said, well, he was shut down due to what he calls a notice of copyright infringement. I'd like to know more about this. So the shows that he broadcasts or downloads and puts on YouTube are Alex Jones, Michael Rivero, and me. So I'm interested in learning more about this and finding out exactly what happened, because I surely would like him to get those broadcasts back on YouTube. And the reason is I think that they're valuable. And the only 3 broadcasts that he picks up are Alex Jones, Michael Rivero, and me. And we get about 1,000 listens a day on Ron Gibson's YouTube channel. So it's called Ron Gibson C. Charlie F. Foxtrot. Ron Gibson CF. That's all I know. And we're going to look into it. John Regan?
You know, last week we talked about the $40 hot dogs at the World Economic Forum.
Yes.
I understand you're going to be selling hot dogs for a 95% discount to that at the expo.
Yeah. You know, we wanted to have something that was fast, easy, and would make a quick meal. So what we do is we have Nathan's Best all beef hot dogs in gourmet buns, and we sell them for $2, you know, with condiments, and then we sell the drinks for $1. And what we do is we actually pay the concession stand not to show up at the Get Prepared Expo. So if you want a hot dog really quickly, you can get one. And for breakfast, we'll probably have what I used to call vitamins. And actually, they're glazed donuts. But, you know, a lot of people like them. And, you know, I won't let Dr. Shealy see them, or Dr. Joel Wallach. We'll kind of keep them hidden. But we're going to have them, too. Because people get hungry, you know, and then they want something quick and fast, and they're setting up their booths. And so that's what we're going to do. So we'll have that. And, you know, believe it or not, people really appreciate the fact that we're not ripping them off at the expo. You know, we don't charge them. Well, if you think about it, what does a city do? You know, a city will charge at the stadium like $5, $6 for a hot dog. It's crazy. $3, $4, $5 for a soda. $5, $6 for a beer. It's nuts. It's absolutely nuts. It's a total ripoff. Hey, by the way, John, I have a post on the website about this guy, this young guy who was driving back and forth to work. He was going over a bridge in Seattle, the 520 bridge. And it says that you can get your, bridge tolls by mail, or you can sign up. So he figures he's just going to get them, you know, through the mail. Well, he accumulated in a year about $1,300 worth of tolls. Now, how do you get $1,300 worth of tolls going over a bridge, right? Every day to work. That seems like a lot of tolls to me. Well, he didn't pay. He didn't sign up. So he gets the bill with the tolls and the fines. The fines are like $16,000. How does that happen? How does that happen? Who allows this? Who allows the setting of tolls that are so high? They're criminally high. $1,360 in tolls and $16,000 in fines for crossing the Seattle 520 bridge. Post is on the website. John, I'll be right back.
So you think your basement will save your family? Think again. A separate, certified safe room placed in the basement, properly anchored to the floor, offers the best chance of survival and protection. And the best safe room you can buy is at Missouri Storm Shelters. You saw them at USAPrepares.com Expo. Missouri Storm Shelters has the largest selection of certified storm shelters in the world, tested against winds up to 250 miles per hour. That exceeds the EF5 rating. Missouri Storm Shelters meet or exceed FEMA's 320 and 360 recommended standards, and also NSSA and ICC 500 standards. See Missouri Storm Shelters right here in Nixa, Missouri, or online at MissouriStormShelters.com. Or call for pricing and details at 417-725-0055. 417-725-0055. Missouri Storm Shelters, because basements won't save your family.
We all know that Berkey water purification systems are the most trusted name in water filtration. As an authorized Berkey dealer for over 6 years and serving thousands of satisfied customers, the Berkey Guy offers amazing specials for Berkey water filtration systems. The Berkey Light systems include a set of self-sterilizing and recleanable black purification elements that purify water by removing chlorine, pathogenic bacteria, cysts, and parasites to non-detectable levels and remove harmful chemicals such as herbicides and pesticides. Order the Berkey Light system today, complete with 2 black Berkey elements for only $231, and the Berkey Guy will ship your order free of charge. With the purchase of a Berkey Light, the Berkey Guy is also offering a set of fluoride and arsenic filters for only $39.99. That's over 30% off the retail price. Call the Berkey Guy at 1-877-886-3653. That's 1-877-886-3653. Or order online at GoBerkey.com. That's GoBerkey.com today.
I'm Vincent Finelli of USAPrepares.com. As most of you know, I broadcast weekday mornings on GCN from 9 to 11. And I'm also a full-time farmer. Add to that mix the weekly meetups and the Get Prepared Expo, and this combination makes for a demanding schedule. On the farm, we raise grass-fed Black Angus cattle and provide them with the best variety of summer and fall grasses available. Our cattle are exposed to the extremes of weather, the toxins in the air, and the electromagnetic radiation that's all around us. So even the best grasses and food that we provide are not enough. Our cattle require minerals and supplements for strong health and resistance to disease. And so do we. For these reasons, my mother, our children, Mrs. Finelli, and I all take Longevity, Beyond Tangy Tangerine, De-Stress, Glucogel, and EFA+. USAPreparesTeam.com. And thank you for being in class today.
We live in a complicated society. Stressful issues are always popping up. Have you ever been treated unfairly by someone? Have you ever been overcharged for a repair? Have you ever signed a contract or a document? Worried about identity theft? How many times have you been in those unique situations where you just wanted to call an attorney to find out if you're right or wrong, or what your legal rights are? But every time you think about calling an attorney, what do you think about first? That's right. Who do you call, and how much will it cost? Our friends at Legal Shield have found a solution. With a nationwide network of 6,900 attorneys who average over 19 years of experience, Legal Shield's law firms take over 40,000 calls per week helping their members. For less than $20 per month, you can have access to Legal Shield on everything from the trivial to the traumatic. Let Legal Shield stand up for your rights at lsprotection.com. That's lsprotection.com. Or call 855-340-SAVE, 855-340-7283.
Results will vary from case to case.
You pick up the receiver with your heart racing and sweat dripping from your forehead. You finally muster the courage to dial the number to call into your favorite talk radio show. It rings once, twice, and then...
Hello, it's GCN. What's your name and the state you're calling from?
Surprised you got through, you squeak out.
Jason from Minnesota. Please hold.
As you patiently wait for your turn, you begin to daydream about being a famous talk radio host and what it would be like to have your own show.
Jason from Minnesota, you're up.
Millions of loyal listeners worldwide waiting to call and talk to you.
Caller, are you there?
Cheering crowds surround you, calling out your name.
Jason!
Going once, twice. Okay, we gotta move on to the next caller.
You blew it.
Huh? Wait, no!
Interact with the hosts you're listening to right now, online at GCNlive.com. Click on the community link. Engage with other listeners. Ask questions. Start debates. Don't agree with the host? Let them know. Be a part of the community at GCNlive.com.
Class meetup tonight, Jimmy Zegg, 4:45 to 8 o'clock, and we're going to talk about Bobby's step. What we're going to do about it. I'll have the news my view and my take on the news, and we're going to show some movies about fluoride and some other subjects. John Regan, back to you.
Let's jump down to the Fukushima section.
Okay.
I've got a couple of articles. News is slow coming out because Japan passed a law that basically makes it a crime. They're treating Fukushima like a state secret. So I've got two links here, world record and 100%. And what this says, the first one's a Russian study where Fukushima released 100 quadrillion becquerels of cesium into the atmosphere in just one day, which was approximately what Chernobyl's entire release was. And the second one, West Coast orcas are experiencing 100% infant mortality rate as radiation from Fukushima drifts across the ocean. This is a story that's not going away anytime soon, and unfortunately, we don't get to hear about it unless you're into alternative media.
I've been trying to hit the mute button, but I think this is kind of a record for how many times my button's been hit in one broadcast. We had Matthew, who first time caller, hit my button. I hit my button. You hit my buttons. But John, we reported the day after Fukushima that this was the worst man-made disaster since Noah's flood. I stand by that. And you know what? There are people who thought we were crazy when we said this. We now have a 100% total infant mortality rate as radiation from Fukushima pollutes our oceans. Let's make sure that this is really clear. John, 100% mortality rate. This is a kill-off of West Coast orcas. Now, John, help me understand. Is there any way that we can recover from a 100% infant mortality kill-off from radiation from Fukushima? Is there any way?
I'm not aware of one.
If this doesn't make you angry, and this is just one animal that we know about. What about all the others? So, John, you talked about the amount of radiation. The amount that came out of Chernobyl, the cesium that was released into the atmosphere from Chernobyl, the total release from Chernobyl was released by Fukushima in one day. And yes, there is a news blackout on this. And on the day that I made the announcement on the air, Springfield, Missouri, about Fukushima, we said that we would certainly not want to be the CEO or in charge of General Electric, the designer of that nuclear power plant. And we have about 100 of these nuclear power plants in the United States. 100 nuclear power plants. And we've said on this broadcast, our instructors have said they all leak. Every one of them leaks. The question is how much? And who in their right minds would create a system, a tool, a machine that uses something so deadly that it would kill everything on the planet, and yet there is no good plan for the storage of the waste from that machine, and it will stay active for thousands and thousands and thousands of years. Who in their right mind would build a machine like that? What kind of sick people would do that? Well, that would be the captains of industry. And who would approve that? That would be the captains of government. Totally defective people. You wouldn't do it. Heck, if you took a quart of used motor oil and poured it into a reservoir, a drinking reservoir, and someone caught you, you would be arrested for putting a quart of motor oil in a reservoir. Now, obviously, I'm not suggesting that you do that. But what I am saying is that pales in comparison to the radiation that we're talking about being released by Fukushima, Chernobyl, 3 Mile Island, and all these other leaking nuclear reactors. I'm going to hit my mute button. Back to you, John.
Yeah, I'm going to move to that safe topic of spy tech. First one up, anonymous. We've talked about how with just a few number of data points that they can take a GPS position on you and identify you with as few as 3 data points. It's the same way with phone calls. With 3 or 4 phone calls, even if you're using a burner phone, they can tell it's you just from the phone numbers that you call. Well, this article talks about something that business does, big data, looking at credit card transactions, where they take out the personally identifying information and stick in a number to identify as what card this came from. Well, it turns out that credit cards are just like what the cell phone and GPS does, is with as few as 3 or 4 transactions, they can tell who is using that card. So even though they say that the data may be anonymous, it ends up not being so if they can, marry it up, which is, part of what the government does. Second up is, I was wondering if you were going to stay on mute.
Let me go hit the mute button again. Back to you. I'm going to hit the mute button again.
Next up is the AI curve, artificial intelligence curve. And we've talked about this too, on how machines are now approaching the level of human intelligence. And about halfway down this article, there's a animated chart that goes back to the 40s and shows goes a drop of water filling a hole, how long it takes. This is kind of similar to what Chris Martenson does with his exponential chart, and using a stadium. Well, you don't see any real change in that until you get to about 2012. You start seeing the blue, and then by 2025, it's now reached the level where computers have the same power as the human brain. And if that isn't scary enough by itself, you have to think about what they actually have in the lab and in the pipeline. When I was in college, I belonged to an organization called ACM, Association for Computing Machinery. And after I graduated and went in the Air Force, early on, so this is probably around 1980, there was an ACM event in St. Louis where they had a number of seminars going on. And a couple of seminars I went to that stood out to me. One talked about chips made out of gallium arsenide, and these chips are resistant to EMP. The other one talked about this new chip that Intel was working on, the Intel 386 chip, and that they believe that this would become like a standard chip used in front-end processors, which is a part of my mainframe that's used to communicate with the terminals. Well, at the time, this is before IBM launched its PC, so the Z80 chip was what was in the computers that, the hobbyists were buying at that point. And we had the first generation PC, we had the 286, and then the 386 came out. So we're talking about years before the public ever saw this chip. We were talking about it in an ACM seminar. Why don't you go ahead and unmute?
Well, what happened was we very quickly evolved from that Zilog, a Z80 central processing unit. We actually had a 4-bit processor, an 8-bit processor, a 16-bit processor, then we had a 32-bit, and now we have 64, and actually we're going higher than that. And each time we do this, the computing performance increases by many, many, many factors. As a matter of fact, I remember, we were using an 8 megahertz processor, and that was really unbelievable. And then 16, and then heck, 25 megahertz, then 33, 40, 50, 66, then 100 megahertz, and then, 133. Then we moved on to 200 and 333, and then 500, 700, 800, 900, and 1,000, and now we're over 3,000 megahertz. So we are actually, increasing very, very quickly. And you're right, John. I remember back in the 1980s when we had in banking, we were using artificial intelligence to figure out, who was interested in our credit cards, and we were targeting our customers based on their shopping habits back then. We were watching who bought what, and that was in the 80s. Now, with 3 purchases, we can figure out who you are. 3 purchases on a credit card. Well, not we can figure out, but the other team can figure out who you are. Absolutely outrageous. So, John, we try to provide solutions in this broadcast. So here's the solution. Use cash. Use cash. Let me say it a different way. Use cash. And if you use cash today, try pulling out a $100 bill. Where'd you get that $100 bill, boy? Where'd you get that from? It's like you did something illegal if you have a $100 bill. Heck, a $100 bill hardly buys anything. You need about 10 of them to pay your rent in an apartment per month. John Regan, I'll be right back.
Yeah?
Did you want to see me, sir?
Well, I did, but now that I do, I'm not so sure.
Sir?
Johnson, I got a mission for you that could change your life.
Oh, good, sir.
It involves traveling halfway around the world without so much as half a clue of where you're going or what you're going to do when you get there.
Situation normal, sir?
Well, I'll be leading this mission, Johnson, so I'll be telling you what to do.
You, sir?
That's right, Johnson, and I say first things first.
Oh, good plan, sir.
And what I say is first is food. Always remember that, Johnson. Food is a big deal.
Sir, my brother-in-law can give us a really good deal on some surplus MREs.
Johnson, if you've got half a brain and that empty head of yours, you'll call the freeze-dry guy like I did. That food is better for you, it rehydrates faster, and it's good, Johnson, and it keeps for up to 30 years.
Will we be gone that long, sir?
I hope not. Now get your supplies organized and meet me down at the pier at dawn on Sunday. We sail at sunrise.
Yes, sir.
This adventure is brought to you by the Freeze Dry Guy. Call 866-404-3663 or visit freezedryguy.com.
Hey, guess what? They've got some great deals for Valentine's Day at guns80.com. They're calling it the Sweetheart Special. Guns80.com has lowered the price way down to $400 up until Valentine's Day. Order your Ghost AR-15 now. Tell your sweetheart that this is the right gift at the right time. Buy one for yourself. Buy one for your sweetheart, too. Your sweetheart will thank you for being so tuned into his or her needs. Get a brand new Ghost AR-15 right now for $400. Heck, buy 2. His and hers. Go to guns80.com or call and ask for the Sweetheart Deal. Love is in the air at guns80.com. Call now, 844-2GUNS80. That's 844-248-6780. It's a sweetheart of a deal. Actually, it's a steal at $400, so call guns80.com at 844-2GUNS80. But hurry, supplies are limited. Call 844-2GUNS80 or get your Ghost AR-15 today at guns80.com on the web.
Do good people ever want to call an attorney just to find out if they're right or wrong? But every time you think about calling an attorney, what are you forced to think about first? Money. If you could call as often as you wanted and talk as long as you need without a bill, would you call? Worry less and live more with lsprotection.com. That's lsprotection.com or call 855-340-SAVE. That's 855-340-7283.
Results will vary from case to case.
It's no secret that government and big business buy in bulk and get huge discounts not available to the little guy. Until now. Introducing a breakthrough crowd buying website where people can join together, buy in bulk, and get massive discounts on millions of popular products. It's TogetherSave.com. TogetherSave.com. You can save 20, 30, or even 50% off tablets, smartphones, cars, appliances, textbooks, sports equipment, video games, and much more. All with free delivery. Check it out. TogetherSave.com. Visit now and start group buying today at TogetherSave.com.
The human body is extraordinary. Despite all the stresses we inflict upon it, it still works hard to stay in balance. Thousands upon thousands of people rely upon Heart and Body Extract to help their body stay balanced. This excellent 100% natural herbal formula helps maintain healthy blood pressure levels, cleans arteries, promotes good circulation, balances cholesterol, and more. HB Extract, paired with healthy lifestyle choices like good nutrition and exercise, can give you a life free of pain, sickness, and fear. Recapture your youthful vitality and experience your body healing itself with the aid of HB Extract. It's extremely effective and it starts working in just days. Visit hbextract.com to learn more and to read scores of testimonials from satisfied customers. And we've never increased our price in over 10 years. That makes Heart and Body Extract as great a value now as it was the first day we sold it. A healthy heart is a happy heart. Call 866-295-5305 or go to hbextract.com.
Don't complain about your cable bill going up and up and up. Do something about it. Grab a pencil and jot down this special number, 1-855-905-MY-TV. The more cable TV rates go up, the better digital satellite TV looks. Say goodbye to the cable guy and get more of your favorite channels in 100% digital quality for less money. Call 1-855-905-MY-TV. Sign up for packages starting as low as $19.99 and there's no equipment to buy. You get free HD TV upgrade, a free DVR upgrade, and free professional installation. You control what you watch when you watch it. Record your favorite shows. Pause and rewind live TV. Even skip the commercials. Watch local channels too. At just $19.99, what are you waiting for? Pull out your major credit or debit card. Call 1-855-905-MY-TV. 1-855-905-MY-TV. Say goodbye to the cable guy. Cut costs and get more. 1-855-905-MY-TV. 1-855-905-MY-TV.
Class Captain John Regan's with us, and if you'd like to go to his website, thefinancialstateoftheunion.com, thefinancialstateoftheunion.com, or you go to usaprepares.com, click on instructors, and it'll take you right to the link for his website. Mark in Philadelphia, you're on with Captain John Regan and me, Vin Finelli. Welcome.
Good morning, Vincent. Good morning, John. I'm calling because of, the listeners may not know that I'm originally from Missouri, and I got an email a couple days ago about what happened with Bob. And, I then called some local businesses there in Sparta, one of them dealing in, protection devices, if you know what I mean. And the attitude is it's really appalling and really very frightful to me that the locals are like, well, what do you want me to do about it? I said, well, no, I just wanted you to be aware. And this is somebody local there who knows Bob, who basically, I got to get back to business, because the money's more important, basically, is what he's saying. And when it happens in the big circles here in the big city, that's one thing, because people are kind of anonymous out, in the big city. But when it comes to local, where the circles are smaller, I mean, we can't let this happen, because the local economy is what keeps this whole country floating, really. And so is it possible, Vince, that this is a move to, being that Bob is older and being that he has a lot of property, is this a move by some greedy people that want to get his property, steal his property? Is that possible?
It absolutely could be. And Bob, we're talking, class, about usaprepares.com class member Bob Estep. And Bob Estep is a voice speaking out against Agenda 21. He is speaking for property rights in Missouri, and he's got a lot of property. He's got farmland, and he's well known in his community. His community only has a few thousand people in it. And so everybody knows who Bob Estep is. Well, he's 68 years old. He got beat up, got tased by the cops in Sparta. They know who he is, and we're coming to his rescue tonight. So Could it be a property confiscation scheme? It could be. It could be that, hey, Bob, we're going to teach you a lesson because we just don't like the freedom of speech. We don't like you speaking out about the corruption, about things that are going on within the government. Well, I'll tell you what, we're not taking it. And we're going to have a meeting tonight at Jimmy's Egg, and we're going to talk about it, what our response is. And you're absolutely right. You know, in the big city, we are anonymous, but we're not anonymous in small towns. Back to you.
So the other thing is this could be a test of the local emergency broadcast system for that other authority. The lawful authority would be the county sheriff, which would be Sheriff Kyle there. So, and I understand that he's already been brought up to speed about what happened, and hopefully he'll do the right thing. And you know, is he going to stand up to protect this citizen in his county?
You're absolutely right.
You know,
we have been in contact. USA Prepares, the team has been in contact. Judy Dollarhide has been in contact with Sheriff Joey Kyle, who is a member of the Constitutional Sheriffs and Peace Officers Association. I know Joey Kyle. I've been at multiple events. I've been a master of ceremonies at an event where we wanted to know what's he doing with an MRAP, mine-resistant ambush protected vehicle.
Right.
We've been on TV. We've been at the CSPOA. I want to know what Joey Kyle's going to do, and I want to know if he's going to arrest the cop that beat up Bob Eastep. That's what I want to know.
So what I'm going to do, Vincent, and I encourage others to do, I'm originally from Missouri, and this concerns me, and even if I wasn't from Missouri, it still concerns me. I'm going to call local businesses, and I'm going to call local churches. I'm going to find out just say, well, how do you feel about that? And then, take their pulse, and if,
And what are you going to do about it?
Yeah, what are you going to do about it? Exactly. Thank you, Vincent. Thank you, John.
Our pleasure. John Regan, back to you.
Well, before we run out of time here, let me just point out, especially if you're going to the meetup tonight, the very last link on today's post is called Making Police Accountable. And it talks about requiring policemen to carry professional liability insurance like other professions have to do. And it will help cut back on this, and it's also good financially for the city, too.
Yeah, imagine what John Regan's saying. So the cops have to carry their own and pay for their own liability insurance. I'll tell you what, they'd be a lot less aggressive if their premiums went up because of their belligerent behavior. John Regan, thanks so much for being with us today. And maybe we can get you back on during the week. Class, above all, honesty and integrity. What happens next is up to you.